Oh, good morning.
Good morning.
I'm glad you came. I got your phone call that you wanted to see me, and it's been a long time.
Yes.
How long has it been? Has it been like 2
I
years?
think so.
Yeah, yeah. So anyway, tell me where you are and the reason that you come.
Well, I'm getting ready for another transition. I think the time before when we met, I was transitioning into a new position, and I moved into that position and still not quite where I want to be, but my next transition would be to retire from the place that I'm working. So I'm looking to figure out what I'm going to do beyond that. So I'm retiring from a position and an organization after it will be 30 years. And still thinking I have something to offer.
30 years.
30 years.
Wow.
So wanting to start putting things in place for that time.
Mm-hmm.
If I even need to wait that long.
Yeah, it seems that when we talked on the phone, you also talked about the transition, and there's a timing because you were very much devoted to your family. There were responsibilities, and there was not that much a leeway or flexibility because there were things that you just had to do.
Right.
Right. But it sounds like there's more of a freedom there.
In 2 more years, my daughter will be graduating high school, so I could be an empty nester in 2 to 4 years. So looking for that time when I can come into my own again, where the focus is different.
I'm going to have you do something. Let's really find out where you are. I mean, you've now given me some of the chronology and the history of the last time we visited, and so could I just have you just relax? Could you? I don't know. I just want you to be here now. That's very, very important in this work, and so I just want you just to be aware of where your hands are. Be aware of your breathing. And I want you to scan from the top of your head down through your neck, your torso, down through the arms, and even to your fingertips, down through your legs, and down to your toes, where you even become very aware of the carpet beneath your feet. So as you do that, you can feel yourself being present, sitting in this chair, being in this space, and also the silence of this room. Be aware of that. And also the sound, perhaps of the clock, and other things. But just be here now. I'm going to address your intuitive mind, and I'm going to ask your intuitive mind to provide an object, a 3-dimensional object, that will communicate just where you are now. Because as you know my work, I like to use the intuitive mind to sort of grasp the gestalt of your situation. So I have a gong here, and I'm just going to ring it, and I'm going to count to 3, and when I ring it, your mind will come up with a 3-dimensional object that will give me your existing status, the status of where you are now. Okay? 1, 2, 3. And just be with your silence and see what emerges, without having to analyze it, without having to do anything with it. And when you're ready, just tell me what you experience. Okay.
It's a beautiful white pearl. It's underwater. It's not in the shell.
Okay. Now, I want you to do 2 things. I want you to really step into it. I want you to be the white pearl and the water, everything. So could you now continue your narration with taking that position? I am
a beautiful, brilliant white pearl. It's rather large. It is not in a shell, but it is underwater. I can feel the warmth of the water. It's not, the water's not very clear. There's some darkness, and it feels like there's that I am rising up to the surface.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I want you to get into that sense of that rising to the surface. Is it? Do you feel like you're doing that by yourself, or there's some kind of turbulence or something that is causing the rise, or are you being pulled or pushed? Or?
It's calmness. I feel a gentle push upward.
Mm-hmm.
But the water is not clear, so there must be some activity around it.
Mm-hmm. When you say, okay, be the unclear water.
Mm-hmm. The water.
I am.
I am the water. The water feeling some. There are particles in the water. But I feel like I am the pearl, and those particles are all maybe they're pushing me up to the surface.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't feel a part of the particles.
Like, would you use the word detach?
There may have been some attachment in the past, but it's now time. It's feeling like those things I am letting go of.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, now from the perspective of being that pearl, is there a sense of where you're coming to? I mean, besides rising, now do you think there's a greater clarity, or is there anything above you that's coming into your vision?
Right, not at this point. There seems to be a ways to go before I reach the surface.
Okay. All right, I'm going to give you the feedback, because in a way, as you know, as I've talked to you before, you know, the intuitive mind works metaphorically,
Mm-hmm.
and basically your metaphor is telling me something, but the truth of it is really dependent on how you feel about it.
Mm-hmm.
It tells me that your own sense of integrity, your own sense of value, being that pearl, is evident. I mean, there's no need to say, Judith, you're great. You've heard that a million times. You've achieved. People know you from the way you function, what you deliver, the presence, and how you're valued. That's very clear. That's not clear. But the context, which is interesting, there's a dissonance, isn't it, between the context and who you are as that pearl. Because in a way, people really can't see you because of the milkiness. They either you would have to be in some place clear so that you can be seen. And also, I think it's very evident when you were saying, I'm no longer in a shell. In other words, you're not an irritant. You're not, there's a maturity. In other words, there's a release of that. And so you're actually above that which where you came from. So it sounds like there's no constriction in terms of your conditioning and all the things that were catalytic in terms of your growth, and that you've come to have your own integrity and really an understanding of your own identity. But yet at the same time, what it sounds like, it's moving upward or towards something that is moving away from the disturbance, or as you said, I'm no longer associated with the particles, but they're all around me.
Mm-hmm.
But they're also the particles which really blur the vision of having anyone really see you. So would you say that is a real accurate description of where you are?
It's exactly where I am.
Okay.
Exactly where I am.
Yeah. So when I met you, there were some problems about the pearl coming out and everything. I mean, in other words, but now it isn't like that at all.
Mm-hmm.
This is really a statement of transition.
I feel that I have reached some kind of wisdom, that I have experiences, that I am there.
You are there.
Mm-hmm. And now it's where I can move into to use these gifts, what I have become.
It's very